$8.8 trillion. That is what cost estimates for a single project in the Saudi desert have ballooned to, more than 25 times Saudi Arabia's entire annual national budget. It was supposed to be finished by now. Instead, most of it is just sand again. In October 2017, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman stood before global investors in Riyadh to present a blank slate. He introduced NEOM, a planned $500 billion development zone located along the Red Sea coast in northwestern Saudi Arabia. Spanning 26,500 square kilometers, an area roughly the size of Belgium, this development was positioned as the flagship of Vision 2030, the kingdom's national initiative to reinvent its economy and reduce its historic reliance on oil. The initial promotional campaign promised a zero-emission zone governed by its own independent legal system, designed to attract international technology firms and billions in foreign investment. When early critics questioned the physical and financial feasibility of the project, the Crown Prince rejected their skepticism. He publicly argued that history's most ambitious developments are always doubted before they are proven possible. This high-profile launch established the political narrative for Saudi Arabia's future, selling a grand vision of technological supremacy before any physical construction could begin. The focal point of this vision was a single, hyper-dense architectural concept known simply as the Line. Unlike traditional cities that spread outward from a central core, this structure was designed as a straight corridor cutting across the northwestern desert. The official design parameters called for a megastructure stretching 170 kilometers long while remaining only 200 meters wide. It would rise 500 meters into the air, taller than most global skyscrapers, and be entirely encased in highly reflective mirrored glass, blending its massive physical presence into the surrounding desert. Inside this mirrored wall, planners envisioned an entirely self-contained ecosystem. The design eliminated cars, roads, and carbon emissions entirely, relying instead on a high-speed underground rail system promised to transport residents from one end of the city to the other in just 20 minutes. This compact footprint was intended to house 9 million residents, a population density greater than Manhattan, concentrated on just 34 square kilometers of land. By condensing millions of lives into a single linear monument, Saudi planners transformed a regional development project into an unprecedented engineering claim. It was an architectural proposition where scale itself became a political statement. The sheer dimensions of the line served as the ultimate test of the kingdom's technical and financial capacity, presenting the world with a concrete set of numbers against which the entire success of Vision 2030 would ultimately be measured. In the northwestern desert, thousands of heavy machines began carving a continuous trench through ancient stone and sand, launching what engineers described as possibly the largest earthworks operation in human history. Fleet after fleet of excavators and dump trucks moved millions of cubic meters of rock, reshaping the terrain to prepare for the massive foundations of the line. But as the dust swirled across the vast construction zone, the sheer volume of displaced earth stood in stark contrast to the lack of actual finished structures. By 2022, a full 5 years after the initial announcement, high-resolution satellite imagery captured a revealing reality. Only 2 buildings existed on the entire site. Instead of a soaring vertical metropolis, the area remained a barren, excavated scar. Meanwhile, the financial requirements of the project were ballooning. Original estimates of $500 billion quickly fell behind, with projected costs climbing through 2025, until some internal audits placed the final price tag for NEOM at an astronomical $8.8 trillion. Behind the closed doors of NEOM's boardrooms, the financial architecture of the project was fracturing. In the spring of 2024, a highly classified 100-page internal audit landed on the desks of the project's board of directors. The document exposed a pattern of deliberate financial manipulation by senior project managers who had systematically obscured the true scale of the mounting liabilities. According to the audit, the project's business plans relied on heavily distorted calculations, utilizing what investigators termed overly optimistic and unrealistic assumptions to justify continued funding. These compromised projections kept the illusion of feasibility alive while burying the true cost calculations. At the center of this administrative machinery was a vast network of international advisory firms. Chief among them was McKinsey & Company, which managed strategic planning and cost-benefit modeling. McKinsey billed Saudi Arabia $130 million in a single year, contributing to an overall advisory bill that drained resources long before any major concrete was poured. The audit revealed that the multi-trillion-dollar projections were not sudden accidents, but the predictable result of internal systems designed to ignore financial reality. In Tabuk province, the construction footprint carved directly through the ancestral lands of the Hawitat tribe. When community members resisted forced eviction, Saudi authorities responded with severe legal crackdowns. Courts handed down prison sentences ranging from 27 to 50 years and sentenced 3 tribal members to death. For the foreign laborers building the infrastructure, the human toll was equally severe. Investigators from Human Rights Watch documented critical workplace safety failures, recording migrant worker deaths caused by electrocution, falling, and decapitation on site. By 2025, these compounding controversies and mounting debt slowed physical progress. New construction contracts dried up. When the Saudi Ministry of Finance released its 2026 pre-budget statement, the kingdom's celebrated megaproject was omitted entirely from the official document, as the state redirected capital toward other regional priorities. On February 28, 2026, military strikes in the Iran crisis closed the Strait of Hormuz, fracturing international investor confidence. The Saudi state immediately redirected its capital toward defense and food security, while oil prices dropped to $71 a barrel, well below the kingdom's $90 fiscal break-even point. The following month, the Public Investment Fund initiated a rapid cascade of cancellations. The state terminated $6 billion in contracts for the Troyana ski resort, including a $470 million deal with WeBuild and a $100 million agreement with Hyundai. Planners halted all tunneling for the line's high-speed railroad and withdrew Saudi Arabia's bid to host the 2029 Asian Winter Games. By June 2026, the Sovereign Wealth Fund recorded an $8 billion write-down on its megaproject portfolio. Official reports confirmed that construction on the line was shelved until at least 2030, and the initial population target of 9 million was cut to fewer than 300,000 residents. In a bid to salvage the infrastructure, planners began repitching the empty desert excavations as foundations for a $500 million AI data center. Away from the stalled excavation sites, select components of the master plan are being repurposed for utility. To the south, the octagonal port of Oxagon has gained renewed priority. Following shipping disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz, planners repositioned the semi-offshore facility as an alternative cargo route along the Red Sea. Nearby, the NEOM green hydrogen project has reached 90% completion. The industrial plant, backed by commercial agreements with Air Products and Yara International, is scheduled to export renewable ammonia by 2027. Outside NEOM's borders, other state-backed initiatives continue to draw capital. On December 31, 2025, the independent Qiddiya City project opened its Six Flags theme park, debuting 28 rides including the record-breaking Falcon's Flight coaster. Today, these half-built monoliths represent a deeper struggle. As global energy markets shift, NEOM stands as a warning. Infinite wealth cannot bend physics or economics. The future cannot be bought. It must be built on reality. Share your thoughts in the comments below.